This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so welcome to the session of Exadata. So today this is the first session, and I will talk about the Exadata introduction. So this is my information. Yeah. So introduction to Exadata. Exadata is basically a hot topic these days in DBA because every company is looking for Exadata Expert. If you have more than 8 years of experience, so you should know about the Exadata. Then you get a chance to work in good company and get a good package. Okay, so basically the Exadata is the game changer, you can say. And this innovation started since 2008, where Exadata version 1 or V1 basically introduced, and that was Oracle database machine. And there in that the focus was smart scan. So that was the good feature which introduced in that. So I will cover later what is smart scan. Just I'm giving you a brief introduction about all the machines in terms of air and in terms of important features which introduced. Then in 2009, it introduced Exadata V2, where we had flash cache, hybrid columnar compression, and InfiniBand. Then in 2010, it introduced Exadata X2. Then in 2011, Exadata X3, which was flashback cache, write back, and 1 upon 8 rack releases. So that was the feature which was in X3. And then Exadata X4 introduced in 2012. Then Exadata X5 comes between 2013 and 2012, and that features was elastic configuration and VM support and columnar flash cache. And then Exadata X6 is introduced in 2016, which was basically Exadata Cloud Services and Exadata Cloud at Customer. So that was the starting of Cloud Exadata actually. And then Exadata X7 is introduced between 2016 and 2017. And the feature was storage tier in memory analytics and hot swap flashcard. And in 2019, Exadata X8 release, which is my focus. And it has extended storage, it has automatic indexing, it has 60% performance boost. And then in 2019, Exadata X8M comes in the picture. So right now Exadata X8M is all about, and it is about 250% performance boot. So that is boost actually. So that is the major hit in the market in terms of performance. And we have a PMEM and ROCE, we will see later. And that is the Exadata innovation from 2008 to 2019. And it is almost 10 years of innovation. So where we have a V1 to X8M. So in terms of CPU, it is started from 64, now it has 384. And maximum memory, it was started from 256, now it has 12 TB. And flash cache, it started from 0, now it has 358 TB. And disk storage, it started from 168, now it has 2.35 petabyte. That is huge. And network fabric gigabyte per second, it was started from 20, now it has 100. Too much speed. And Ethernet gigabyte per second, it started from 8, now it has 800 gigabyte per second. So 100 times more than that which was started. And maximum scan rate, it was 14, now it has 560. So 40 times faster. and maximum read IOPS that was 0.05, now it has 16, so 320 times faster right now. So if you can see in the red mark of this section, so see that 6 times, 48 times, 64 times, 14, 50, like this. So if you go about this Ethernet, it has 100 times faster, and maximum read it is 320 times faster. So that's why performance boost up is 25 to 50% in X8M machine. Okay. Now, this is another Exadata 10 years of innovation I have covered in the first figure. So this is about all the features, air and machine. It's mentioned here. So I'm not going into that right now. Now, Oracle provide actually full choice of deployment model. We have on-prem, we have cloud at customer, we have public cloud. So whatever customer demand, Oracle is providing. So if you want in your premises, you had Exadata database machine. If you want cloud at customer, you should have Exadata cloud at customer. And if you want Oracle premises, so you have Exadata Cloud Services, where you should take Oracle Cloud subscription. So both is the similarity between that Exadata Cloud at customer and Exadata Cloud Services. Now, in terms of deployment model, so we know that Oracle database is the #1 databases, and now Oracle Autonomous Database is in demand. So if you are putting on the best database platform and self-driving, so that is the Exadata, so which will give you a better performance. Now come to Exadata data machine introduction. So because why it is called Exadata database machine, that we look into this. So if you see this machine, just taking a pen. So this is the machine which is fully integrated platform for Oracle database, and Exadata based machine is fully integrated Oracle database platform, and Exadata provides a high performance, high availability, highly scalable solutions for all database workload, ranging from scan intensive analytics to highly concurrent OLTP applications. And Exadata is well balanced platform throughout the hardware architecture of Exadata. Components and technologies have been especially matched to eliminate bottlenecks while maintaining good hardware utilization. So using the unique clustering and workload management capabilities of Oracle database, along with complementary Exadata specific features, so Exadata is well suited for consolidating multiple database onto a single Exadata system and underpinning private and public cloud implementation delivered as a complete package of software, servers, and storage. So Exadata is simple and fast to implement. And also Exadata is fully integrated platform solution that comprises specific hardware and software components. So Oracle offers Exadata hardware and software component as a series of separately purchasable items. Customer can choose from the different hardware configurations that are available, and appropriate licensing of Oracle database and Exadata Cell software is also required in addition. So Exadata is highly complementary with clustering and parallel operations. So Oracle real application cluster and Oracle partitioning are highly recommended software options for Exadata. Okay. So why Exadata database machine? If suppose you are recommending your customer, so he will ask that question. So you can say that Exadata based machine is a engineered system that is designed to address common issues faced by most database user, especially a database if suppose increasing in size and complexity. So issue will be for data warehousing and analytics, supporting large and complex queries. So getting enough IO throughput to support massive scan, and during the IO throughput over the storage network, avoiding unproductive IO parallel processing. Okay. If you are managing massive database, so in that easily and effectively managing storage space and utilizing resources effectively while controlling runaway queries and efficiently compressing the data. And if you are talking about OLTP issues, in that supporting larger user population and transactional volumes. So get enough IOs per second and caching frequently access data, and delivering quick and consistent response time means it will minimize the IO latency and it will efficient commit processing. If you are going about consolidation issues, in that it will support efficiently mixed workload. Excuse me. What is the meaning of that? It will support different workloads on the same system and isolating workloads to avoid conflict, and prioritizing workload. You can also do that. So what is that? You can manage resources based on the priorities and dynamically adjusting resource allocations based on your current system configuration and workload observation. If you are going about configuration issues, so it will create a balanced configuration without bottleneck. So what does it mean? Hardware components match with each other across the system, and hardware specification match with software capabilities, and building and maintaining a robust system that works basically for hardware, firmware, and software compatibility, and configuration best practices, adding consistency and supportability and intelligent monitoring tools. So these are the things you can tell your customer or client that that's why I required Exadata. When you have increasing users, increasing data in terms of sizes, because we know that now we are in terabyte or petabyte naming in terms of data volume. So that's why it's increasing day by day, because everybody is going on digital platform. Got it? Now this is X8M hardware, which is the current one, and I think nobody is covering this right now. So that's why I have chosen this X8M hardware. So if you go into this, so this is Oracle Exadata database machine, and it consists of database server, storage server, and the network. So you have just taking the pen. So here you have database server, you have network, and you have storage. So three things you will get inside the database, or sorry, Exadata machine, which is database machine. So here you had two socket Xeon process, 48 cores per server, and you have 384 GB to 1.5 TB DRAM. So that is the fastest RAM. And if you are going about the network, so you have 100 GB and you have 25 by 10 external network. And if you are going about the storage, it has 168 TB disk capacity, and you have 1.5 persistent memory, and you have 32 cores for SQL offload. So these three feature consist inside in your Exadata X8M hardware. So suppose if somebody is asking what is Exadata X8M, so you can say that it has database server, it has network, it has storage. Okay. Now in this slide, if you go, so this is database machine X8M2 database server hardware. So just now I had talked about the processors are 48 Intel CPU, system memory 384 GB RAM, disk driver is 4 into 1.2 TB, disk controller is host bus adapter with 2 GB cache. And in network, we have client, we have backup, we have RDBMA network, we have administration, and we have remote management. So these parts consist in network. So every section has specification, okay, and power supply. It has 2 into redundant hot swappable power supplies options in that Exadata X8M machine, okay. So now come to Exadata 8M high capacity storage server. So here Oracle Exadata machine can be configured with many storage options. First is high capacity storage server option. Second, extreme flash storage server option. Third, extended storage server option. So the first Exadata storage option is the high capacity storage server, which is right now on your screen. So this server basically include the capabilities of many things like your processes, system memory, persistent memory, disk drive, and system partitions, flash, disk controller, and network and power supply. So this is the specification of Exadata high capacity storage server. Okay. See why I'm focusing this, because without understanding of these things, you cannot understand the Exadata storage server actually. So yes, I'm not going into too much into that detail. Now come to second thing, extreme flash storage server. So you can see that processor, system memory, persistent memory. So the values are changing. So in this Exadata extreme flash storage server first introduced with Exadata X5. Okay. So it is the foundation of database optimize all flash Exadata database machine. So each Exadata flash storage server contains 8 6.4 TB flash accelerator, which in terms of EF storage server. So this state flash memory improves speed and power efficiency and provides an expected endurance of 8 years or more typical database workload. So in addition, Exadata delivers ultra high performance by placing these flash devices directly on the high speed PCI bus rather than behind slow disk controller. So this is the difference. And Exadata X8M adds the shared persistent memory acceleration. So this will actually 12 128 GB Intel obtained DC persistent memory model in front of flash to boost performance even better. So Exadata X8M uses a combination of scale-out storage, RDBMA over converged Ethernet networking, and database offload, persistent memory accelerator, and PCI flash. So these are the technical things which differentiate extreme flash storage server. Now come to extended storage server. This is the third server which also introduced in Exadata X8. So this is the new one which comes in Exadata X8, but I'm talking about Exadata X8M and 2. So this storage server includes 12 14 TB SAS disk drives. Okay, so if you see here in the disk drive, you can find out this thing. And to achieve a lower cost, flash is not included and storage server is optional in this storage server. And for the X8M generation, the XT extended storage server benefits from the addition of 100 GB per second network. So that is the advantage in that 100 GB network this. So this will give you more performance. So the in that you will get efficiency, simple, secure, fast, and scalable and compatible. Okay, so with Exadata extended storage server, enterprises can meet their long-term data retention. This is the benefit in that if you are going to use this server. Now, capacity and performance metrics in terms of what I have covered till now. So you have database server, you have extreme flash server, you have high capacity server, you have extended server. So if you can see these are the difference. So raw capacity is measured in standard disk drive terminology. Okay, so 1 GB equals to means 1 billion bytes, and bandwidth is peak physical scan bandwidth achieved running SQL. So and if suppose it is going maximum SQL read, so in that based on 8,000 IO request running SQL. If you are talking about SQL writes, that is 8,000 IO request running SQL. So flash write IO are measured in that section. So these are the things or differentiation between that. So by this table you can easily understand which one is faster, which one is slowest. Now 8M2 rack configuration. So here we have rack sizes and we have fixed configuration. If you see, this is fixed configuration and this is elastic configuration. So in that you have rack sizes, database server, and cores storage server, high capacity storage server, or this EF storage server. And if you are going into elastic configuration, so you have that thing. So Oracle Exadata based machine is available in flexible configuration as well as elastic configuration. So flexible configuration that consists of number of database storage server up to the capacity of rack as defined in using Oracle Exadata configuration assistant. So Oracle Exadata database machine is also available in specific configurations such as full rack, half rack, quarter rack, or 8 rack. Okay. So, and the starting point for elastic configuration is an Exadata quarter rack actually, which is mentioned in the slide, which consists or contains 2 database server and 3 storage server. From this starting point, any number of database server or storage server can be added, and up to maximum 22 server or until the rack is physically full. So this is the limitation in that, in elastic configuration. Okay. So suppose you have 2 database server and 18 storage server, and at that point rack would be physically full. But elastic configuration that maximize database server would contain 3 storage server and 19 database server, at which point the 22 server maximum is reached. Okay. Now this is elastic configuration picture. So where you have quarter rack, 2 database server, 3 storage server, which I talk about, add database or storage server, assembly option. So these are the options you have. So sorry. So basically this is X62. Okay. And the example of elastic configurations: database in memory, extreme flash OLTP, and warehousing and analytics. So in database in memory, you had 16 database server. Extreme flash, you have 8 database server and 8 extreme flash storage server. And in warehousing and analytics, you have 8 database server and 14 high capacity storage server. Okay. So every server is suited for different type of workload. Excuse me. So according to the workload, you can choose your Exadata machine. So this is another feature or figure of this. Now this is Exadata database machine X8M8. So this is the addition of Exadata base machine X8M2. So Oracle offers Exadata machine X8M8. So the major difference is that the 2-socket database server in Exadata database machine X8M2 are replaced by larger 8-socket database server. So that is the difference, X8M2, X8M8. So socket is the major difference in that, and each of the larger database server contains 192 CPU core, okay, and at least 3 TB RAM and more network interfaces. So if Exadata machine X8 M8 socket can be configured with the Exadata X8M2 storage server, including the extreme flash, high capacity, or extended storage server. So this 8M machine also support elastic configuration. So in this, you need to be configured with a minimum of 2 database server and a 3 storage server. Okay. So from there, one additional 8-socket database server can be added along with the additional storage server. Okay. So in this slide, you can see maximum configuration for X8M8 rack based on the number of database server in the rack. Okay. Now, what are the hardware in X8M8 socket database machine? So these are the things I spoke. 192 server, core, 3 TB system memory, which extend up to 6 TB. Flash is 12.8 TB, which is 2 into 6.4. Will be used, and network interfaces are like this: 4 into dual, 10 into 1 gigabyte copper, and 8 into 10 divided by 25, and it is power supply is redundant. And what are the use cases where this machine so it is will be used? So it is ideal for a solution that required very large memory capacity. So this is ideal choice for situation where large memory capacity such as large scale OLTP and analytics is the work. And with the introduction of new software capabilities, Exadata database machine X8M is well enough for a platform which has database consolidation and for delivering database as a service, that is DBaaS, in a public or private cloud implementation. And the large memory capacity of X8M 8-socket database server is ideally suited for using in conjunction with the Oracle database in-memory option. So on Exadata-based platform, Oracle database in-memory supports fault-tolerant configuration, so enabling data to be simultaneously populated in the in-memory data store on multiple database server. So under this arrangement, if a database instance fail, the surviving in-memory stores are automatically and transparently used to satisfy user query. So that is the basic or important difference if you are using database in-memory feature with your Exadata based machine. Okay, so in-memory option introduced in 12C family. So if you go, there are too much about this in-memory technology or options which Oracle is giving. Okay. Now come to Oracle Exadata virtual machine. So consolidated environment running on Exadata X8M2 socket use KVM based Oracle virtual machines for a higher degree of isolation between workload, especially in hosted shared service provider and a test or dev environment. And using OVM, multiple rack cluster can be deployed on the same set of database server of the Exadata based machine for consolidation of application with a specific cluster where version needs. So Exadata based machine is the world's fastest virtualized database platform, because Exadata virtual machine use high speed network with single root IO virtualization, that is SRIOV, to ensure that performance within a virtual machine is similar to Exadata excellent raw hardware performance. So that is Exadata virtual machine. And Exadata Smart Scan basically decrease virtualization overhead compared to other platform because it will dynamically reduce messaging traffic between virtual machine. So Exadata virtual machine can dynamically expand or shrink the use of CPU based on workload requirement of the application running in the virtual machine. Okay, so virtual machine on Exadata are considered trusted partitions, and therefore software can be licensed at the virtual machine level instead of the physical processor level. So this is licensing part. And without trusted partitions, database option and other Oracle software must be licensed at a server or cluster level. Okay. So KVM is not supported on the Oracle database machine system configured with InfiniBand interconnect, and Zen is not supported for Oracle database machine system configured with ROCE interconnect. So these two things you should remember. So what is ROCE I'm talking about? That is RDMA over converged Ethernet. So this is the protocol that runs InfiniBand RDBMA software on top of the Ethernet. If you see on the right side of this slide, so this figure will talk about this. Okay. So here, remote RDBMA is basically remote direct memory access, is the ability for one computer to access data from a remote computer without any OS or CPU involvement. That is the difference. And network card directly read write memory with no extra copying or buffering, and it has very low latency. So what is the advantage of InfiniBand? ROCE match previous InfiniBand advantage. Throughput is 100 gigabyte per second, and latency is now very fast. RDMA protocol have not been ported on top of ROCE Ethernet, and lossless messaging. And a disadvantage is what not common in enterprise niche technology, and high throughput and low CPU usage for large data transfer, and unique direct to write protocol to deliver three into faster internode OLTP cluster messaging, and unique RDMA protocol to coordinate transaction between nodes. So InfiniBand was the only viable RDMA capable network at the inception of Exadata. So that is related to ROC. So now we have storage expansion rack. So the Oracle Exadata storage expansion rack is basically to the fastest and simplest way to add substantial storage capacity to in your existing Exadata based machine. Okay, so you can expand your rack storage actually by adding the things in your Exadata-based machine. So natural expansion of the Exadata-based machine, the Exadata storage expansion rack is offered with a minimum configuration that contain 4 Exadata storage server and 36 port into that. And after the initial rack configuration, additional storage server can be added as needed, up to a total maximum of 19 storage server in each storage expansion rack. Okay, so Exadata storage expansion rack X8M2 comes with 36 port Ethernet switches, and which enables them to interconnect with any combination of up to 18 Exadata database machine rack or Exadata storage expansion rack via ROCE network fabric. Okay, so larger configuration can be built with the external ROCE switches. Okay, and connected racks must contain Exadata ROCE hardware. So these are the information related to expansion if you are in your Exadata machine. So this is talk about a database machine support actually. So this is Oracle offering. So Oracle provides complete and integrated set of support for Exadata. So customer can use a single contact point to access all of the support service which mentioned in the slide. And there is also a single point of accountability, which means that issue will never remain unresolved while separate support organization wait for each other to progress. Okay, so these are the support offering: Oracle hardware warranty, Oracle premium support, Oracle premium support for system, Oracle customer data and device retention. It is not like that IBM machine power server, because for there everything you have to pay, and but in terms of Exadata based machine, they are better than AIX power server in terms of support offering. Okay, now they have Oracle Platinum service, which they have enhanced, and no additional cost they want. and they have a platinum service which contains a remote fault monitoring, accelerated response, and patch deployment. So these are the features which mentioned in the slide. So I'm not going into that because it is too much bore. Okay. So can I ask one question till now, whatever I have covered? So what is the maximum number of Exadata storage servers supported in a single rack Exadata database machine? Can anyone answer? Use the chat box. Did you get my question? I have covered this point. Okay, no one is telling. So answer is 18. Okay. Now, what are the three storage server type of Exadata database machine? Can anyone can tell in the chat room? First one is HC, high capacity storage server. Then second one is EF, extreme flash storage server. And the third one is ES, extended storage server. So these are the three storage server types for Exadata database machine. Okay, so please remember that. Okay, so that's it till uh, everything I have covered about the introduction part. And next session, I will try to cover about Exadata database machine architecture, where I will tell you about Exadata architecture, which consists of RDMA, which consists of RDMA over ROCE, and network architecture, and leaf switch topology, scale performance, and capacity, and two rack case like a leaf and spine topology, and multiple rack case like up to 8 rack. Okay, and multiple rack cases like 9 to 18 racks, and these are all about. So it has too much. So it will take too many sessions for only to understand the Exadata database machine architecture. Okay, so if you feel this session is good, so you can give the feedback, and for next session you have to register. So these are the links, and if you have any questions, you can ask on mail, or you can ask here. Okay, so I hope this session is useful for you guys, and I will upload this session on YouTube, so you can go and watch whenever you want. And if you like this session, then subscribe my channel Oracle Right, and click the bell icon so that whenever I uploaded any new video, you will get the notifications, and give comments like whatever you can give it to promote this. And you can also share my channel to in your circle so that other people can also get benefited. So I am doing so many series like MySQL series, Exadata series, now planning to start apps DBA series. So according to my time and availability, I'm doing this. So please stay connected with my channel so you will get notifications. Okay, thank you. And if you have any questions, let me know.